What is happening, everyone? Great video for you today. I'm so excited. We're gonna do a spaghetti with lemon, basil, and parsley. Well, spaghetti and herbs, all right? This is such a simple, great beginner recipe. And it's honestly, it may seem complicated, but man, when you taste it, you'll know after you make it. It's so simple, but when you taste it, it's like, oh, wow, this is like 5-star. And I can tell you that for a fact because I learned this when I was an apprentice under a master chef when I was over in Italy. And so I have firsthand knowledge of A, how easy it is to make, B, how incredibly delicious it is. Now, one more thing that you should know. Once you learn the foundation of making this spaghetti lemon, as they would say over there, with fresh herbs, you can add protein to it. Like you could add chicken to it, you could add shrimp to it, you could add salmon to it. So there's so many things you can do it. But let's, again, slow down. Let's get the basics going first and go from there. So the first thing we're going to do is make some pasta, right? So I've got some regular boxed pasta here. I've got 4 cups of regular water. And the only thing we're going to do to this water is we're going to add about 3 tablespoons of kosher salt, like so. Now, get the heat going here. We want to bring this up to a boil. And I just want to tell you, if you want to learn exactly how to make pasta, I did a whole video on pasta making. You can see it right here. So just, check it out if you want to, maybe after this video or whenever you want, if you want to learn about how to make a great pasta. I'm not going to skip any steps here, but if you just want to get a little more intense, I do a whole video on pasta alone, all right? Just so you know. So we're going to get this water to come up to a boil, and then we're going to add our pasta. In this case, we're using spaghetti. And so the other thing we want to talk about is what is going to go in this, okay? So over here, we've got our herbs. As you can see, I've got some fresh basil. I have some fresh curly parsley that we'll chop up. I have 2 lemons that we'll cut in half and squeeze. Garlic. Garlic powder is fine, but for something like this, I like to use a paste. And you can get this at your grocery store. It's very easy to find. A garlic paste, gourmet garlic paste, okay? It's wonderful. Now, this is optional, but I love it in my spaghetti lemon is a little bit of red pepper flakes. I like a little bit of bite. And then, of course, we're going to add some really good Parmesan cheese. Now, one of the things that I'm going to teach you in this recipe as well, in particular with this Parmesan cheese, is the fact that there is no cream in this pasta. Okay, sometimes if you see a recipe for spaghetti, lemon spaghetti with herbs, and they add heavy cream to it, I'm not saying it's going to be a bad recipe, but it's not really the traditional way to do it, which we're going to do tonight, and I'll show you exactly how that goes. All right, so you can see our salted water has come to a boil, and remember, what you want to do with the salt is that you kind of want to taste it also. And I tasted it earlier. You want the water to taste like the sea. And please, one of the things I did not mention to you is you do not have to put oil in your water. And like I said, that's in the video, the whole pasta video you can find in the channel. It's all there for you, but I talked about not putting oil in the water, very important. Okay, so you want to get the water to a boil. We're going to add our spaghetti, and 1 handful is good for about 2 people. For me, I mean a little bit more. All right. Now all you want to do now is you want to just kind of watch this kind of simmer down, and it's going to just drop down, and it's going to start getting loose. And what I also don't want you to do is cut the pasta in half. Like so many people think, well, this could cook faster if it was broken down, and they break it. No. The integrity of the pasta is so important. Italians, real Italians over in Italy will tell you, if you want a small pasta, you can get tortellini, you can get ziti, you can get macaroni. There's great smaller pastas, but the linguinis and the spaghettis and the fettuccinis, they are long form and they're meant that way because that's all a part of the culture, right? So we don't want to take that away. So what we're going to do is you just kind of get this down. You'll see it's all going to melt its way down in there. What I like to do, once this all gets in here, I'll lower my heat down to about a simmer. If it keeps on high, it's still going to keep boiling, don't worry. But if you keep it on a high, you have a really good chance of this water over boiling, and then it goes onto your stove and it's a mess, and we don't want that. So as you can see, it's coming down really nice. Look at that. It's all going to fit in there. It's perfect. Now, while this is in here, one more little thing I want to talk to you about. In this particular, use the directions on the box here. This says 12 to 15 minutes to cook this pasta. What I would do is follow those instructions. But here's the thing. When you're making pasta that's going to go into another, we're going to make another dish out of the pasta. This is the base, so we're going to make this pasta lemon and basil. Take this pasta out about 2 minutes before the box. And the reason being is because it's actually going to continue to cook as we add the lemon and the garlic and the rest of the aromatics and everything else. And so you want the pasta to be right at the perfect, delicious bite to it. If you take it out after it's completely cooked and then add it to everything, it's going to be overcooked by the time you eat it, and then it's mushy and you don't want that, okay? So here we go. Once again, you can see now, boiling water, but it's down to a simmer, but it's not overcoming because we have it to simmer now, so it's not going to spill over. And we're going to let this go for about 10 to 12 minutes, okay? And then once this is done, I will show you exactly what we're going to do with this and how we're going to make this into an amazing dish you will love. So stay right there. All right, so this has been about 8 minutes. I want you to just look and see how we're doing. You see how it's getting a little bit whiter. It's not as yellow. That's when you know. And let me tell you what else is going on here. You see all that? That's the starch coming off the pasta. This is gold, all right? If there's a secret that you can learn about cooking pasta, this pasta water, it is properly seasoned and the starch that's coming off of it is gold. And I will explain that in detail in a second. In the meantime, what we're going to do here is I'm just going to set this aside. We're going to let this cook for another 3 minutes or so. Set it aside. And in the meantime, we're going to start cutting our herbs. And what I did, let me show you this little trick here, what I do. To keep the herbs from drying out, I have a little wet paper towel here I put on top. Look at that. But I also got a dual purpose here. A wet paper towel or some kind of, any kind of towel. What this does is when you put a cutting board down, it keeps it from moving. And so now when you cut something, you don't have a good chance of cutting yourself because the cutting board is now sturdy. So there you have it, another little trick. So we'll take our basil and we want to just kind of do a rough cut. Nothing major. There we go. Put that in the bowl. And I've got some parsley. Same thing here. Doesn't have to be anything perfect. Just want to get the essential oils. There's a lot of flavor and perfume that's inside of fresh herbs that people don't realize. And even some of the stems. Don't be afraid of some of the stems. Okay. So not a pure powder dice, but kind of a, rough chop. Because we want this to get incorporated inside of our pasta. So we'll put this in with the basil. And when we come back, the pasta is just about done. We're gonna get our saute pan out. We're gonna start creating the actual complete and total dish. You don't wanna miss this. All right, the pasta is ready. We're gonna pull it out, like I said, about 2 minutes before. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set it aside here. Now, we'll get our pan and start making the actual finished product. First thing we're gonna do, remember I talked about that pasta water and why it's so important? I'm gonna take some of that pasta water, put it in just like that. Okay? That's perfect for right now. Now, we're gonna take our lemon. As you can see, I've cut them up already. I've got 2 lemons in half, so let's get ahead. Put some lemon in here. Second one. Use my left hand to catch any seeds. Perfect. Last one. There you have it. Now, that's the beginning of our little sauce, and we're going to add a little garlic now. Like I said, I'm using some garlic paste. About a teaspoon should work fine. Like so. And we just want to incorporate that in there. Smells so good. Now, here's where it gets good. Watch me closely. I'm going to take the pasta. I'm going to take it with my tongs and add it directly to this pan. And like I said, this is going to continue the cooking process. Okay? All right, and we do not want to discard this because this is going to keep making our sauce. So keep this aside. And now, start to add all of our pasta in to mix in with that lemon. Turn the heat down just a little bit. I'm going to add some black pepper. And like I said, for me, I want a little bit of chili flake, which is optional for you. And now, some more pasta water. Like that. And you may be thinking, oh, Chef Brian, it's got a lot of liquid in there. Well, that's because we haven't done the final step. The final step is to turn the heat completely off now, because now we're going to make the actual cream sauce with no cream. We take the Parmesan cheese, we just add it in there like this. You do that one time and then you add a little bit more pasta water. Like so. A little more cheese. Add our fresh herbs. Toss. See how that's, look at that. We're getting a natural, creamy texture without using any cream. The burner is completely off. So this is emulsifying all by itself. Look at that. Look at that. See that cream? Look at that cream. Look at that. That's what we're looking for. All right. Look at that. Oh, that's so good. It is looking fantastic. When we come back, I'm going to take it to the plate. We're going to take a bite and cannot wait. All right, I've got our bowl here by fork. The pasta looking amazing with the natural, look at that creamy sauce. It's all from the water, the starch, and the Parmesan. Now we're gonna take it to, like I said, this is for 2. I'll fill this up for 1 so I can have a bite. Then for good measure, you can always add a little bit of pepper on top, like so. And then 1 little bit of Parmigiano. Look at that. That looks delicious. All right, let's give it a go. Spaghetti, lemon spaghetti with basil and parsley. That is unbelievable. The tartness of the lemon is hitting me right back here, and it's so delicious. And then I get this boost of this basil. This is coming like boom, boom, when they're meeting each other. And then what calms down that kind of, battle going on between the acid and the herb is the Parmesan, which kind of makes everything even out, kind of smooths everything else. Just calm down, we got this. And so the whole palate is dancing right now. Oh, you're gonna love this recipe so much. I cannot wait until you try it. Listen, as I've mentioned to you many, many times before, if you really do enjoy these videos, if you're learning something, it would mean the world to me to hit the subscribe button. Leave a like, leave a comment. I try to get back to everyone. But equally as important, if you really want to have me, a little chef on your shoulder, and you really want to kind of really take your cooking to the next level, you need to get my ebook. It is, I think, 60 plus pages. It has got all the information you possibly could need, anything that you possibly want to know. It's all in there, from knife skills to food sanitation. It is really, really going to be helpful for you. Grab your copy. There's a link in the description box below. You will not be disappointed. All right, so there you have it. Spaghetti with lemon, basil, and parsley. Unbelievable, simple, great for beginners. You can do this. I want to hear about how it turned out for you and your family. Can't wait. Until next time, remember, I'm Chef Brian. Eat well and stay healthy.